Welcome, sir. I wanted to understand, is there a conundrum in the industry when it comes to alternative fuels and EVs?
See, the government policies, when government put it, it was very clear that they were giving some benefits to the EV industry, okay, to start with, because it is in a nascent stage. The benefits it gives to the environment was very clear. That's a zero emission vehicle. So the government has given certain benefits like the FAME scheme, the PLI, or the GST benefits, registration benefits. These have been put into place. Now, when this has been compared with others, like you mentioned, the alternate fuel sort of a thing, so people believe those are also doing some things. At least there is a little reduction in the uh, emissions from the tailpipe emissions of this also because of the use of biogenic fuels and all that, biofuels. So they have been approaching government to look into it. Why not? So the government has still been under consideration. They have not given anything to E20 or flex fuel or anything. They have not still not come up with anything as such. But then a nascent industry and an established industry, there is always going to be a challenge. Everything ecosystem is developed. If little support goes there, they believe that everything must swing to that direction. So that's why there is always a debate happening. And I think government is well placed to take that right decision. They are knowing everything. And I think they will be making the sound decisions on how to take it forward. As of now, the status quo is maintained.
Interesting. But then, when it comes to the component industry, what is usually seen is that component industry starts working well in advance towards fuels of the future and how would the new component behave towards the new powertrains. Is this something that there is a clear roadmap on? Because when we spoke to some component makers, they don't have a sense of direction at the moment, while some have a very clear sense of direction.
So the E20, when they enhanced the blending from E10 to E20, almost 4 years clear roadmap was given. I think from 21 when the Prime Minister launched it, 25 when it was put into effect. So you had a very clear know-how. This is the time when this is going to be implemented. The flex fuel, which is now the next step, or whether we enhance from 20 to some higher blends. Yes, that clarity is still is not there. But I believe that again, government will be giving a clear time frame. So people don't have to be apprehensive. No, it will come tomorrow. So that will not happen. So there will be a time frame. The regulatory measures are also being discussed, like should they be getting some better CAFE grades for the flex fuels. It's a little complex thing. Why we needed 4 years was to scale up the whole production of ethanol. Now, when flex fuel has brought in, how that blending has to be taken place, because the whole concept of blending in the retail outlet is not allowed as per Indian rules. Indian rule says that it should be from the terminal, it should come, and RO is only a dispenser. It should only dispense it. There should not be a blending taking place there. So those changes have to be brought in. So there are multiple challenges before us. So people need not be anxious or apprehensive about what will happen. It will not be an immediate thing. There will be sufficient time given. The flex fuel regulations, once it is in place and the vehicles are going to, everybody will scale up accordingly, because putting some equipment on a vehicle, because it's going to be costly, and not getting anything out of it, nobody wants that. So things will be a little more, the ecosystem readiness and all will be discussed, will be made known, and then the vehicle manufacturing will take place.
Interesting, very interesting answer, Reji sir. But there's one thing that comes to my mind because I've been covering the EV ecosystem for a long time now, right? And what I've seen is that for battery swap, what we have observed is the best use cases for battery swap are commercial operations, especially the gig workers, also the three-wheeler industry. But then do you think that once this battery, because now there are a lot of OEMs who are trying to bring battery swap into the main play, the normal consumer, do you think this might confuse, given the fact that there are other alternate fuels coming into the market, especially in terms of two-wheelers and three-wheelers?
See, the cost to the customer is the critical thing, and particularly the segments you are mentioning, where the usage of the EV has to be much more. They will always prefer a solution where their initial costs are low and the operations are high. Okay, so swappable batteries are a good solution there. Regulatory measures are in place for such things. Okay, so you only have to mention that these are the batteries or this main batteries, a swappable one. You get the approval for the same, no issues. But mixing it with this biofuels or incentive is not going to be a challenge at all, because this segment totally works on the cost and the usage time. So once they are definite about it, this is a good proposition, they are going to go ahead with it. So the robustness of your battery charging station, which is a must for a swappable battery, and the way things are made available over there, how fast, what cost, so that will be a good move. So initially when this car manufacturer announced with the BESS, the service being battery as a service, when they did that, so there was a huge spike, means everybody wanted to look at it. I don't know how the industry mood is now. See, people, when they own a vehicle and the battery is almost 30% of the cost, they are possessive about it, what quality it is. So I don't know what is the mechanism, we are not dwelt into it too much. So once we see the economics and all that, and the assurances given by the service providers, I think can go very well.
Interesting. Thank you for that answer, Reji sir. Sometimes we do feel that it is the end consumer that is more confused in what's to come and what to invest in terms of mobility, right? Is there something that we can do to help these end consumers understand or educate more them about the future of powertrains in India and what could be the best for them?
There are, see, people when they make the choices, means I know it is a little crowded now, and there are a lot of ambiguities in certain people feel what should I do? Should I go for a EV bike? Should I do, if the EV, then of what capacity? Is there a service center available? There are multiple things, because still now we have only looked into one aspect, that was the IC engine sort of a thing, with established players who had very good robust service centers. A lot of reliability assurances were in place, and that has to be built now. This is something which has started 3 years or 4 years before. We are comparing it with something that has been there for decades. Okay, so that is one part that everybody has. Then the usage pattern. How much am I using it? Is it a 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers usage daily, or am I using it 30, 40 kilometers, where my anxieties are there of range and all that? So this is another thing a person has to look into. Then whether he lives in a society where the charging infra is available, or he's in his own bungalow sort of a thing where the charging is easily available. So multiple aspects will come into play, and people should really assess the credibility of each ownership or OEMs when they get into a purchase thing. But if somebody thinks that it is for me 3 to 4 years I will use, and I don't want to think much beyond that, perfectly all right, anything can do.
Interesting. You work very closely with the component ecosystem, right? Do you think it is a time wherein suppliers to tier ones and tier ones to their suppliers need to work in more collaboration than what has ever happened in India? Are we in that time at the moment?
See, currently the ecosystem for IC engine has been a well established mechanism. So many of the OEMs even don't know where their tier 1 is getting the material.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This was become evident when we did the PLI. When they had to go down to tier 2, get that thing is not imported and all. So then people started knowing. They were very confident of many things, but it has been now understood that it is not that easy controlling tier 2 and tier 3 down the line. freedom to much extent has to be given if the ecosystem has to be developed. You cannot put boundaries and say that no, this you cannot import or that you need to develop in-house. Quality you can ensure, but you have to give them the freedom to make choices. Otherwise, we will not grow the way we have to grow. We will be very constrained in our growth. Yes, they need to work together in much more harmony. They need to understand each other's requirement, but each has to respect the other. This is not the OEM defining everything, saying that no, this is how it has to be done. Everybody now has learned that it cannot be done that way. Particularly when the EVs are coming, you can't have so many players adding on to the existing players who are there to say that both have uncertainties. Yahan se volume, are they going to get reduced? Are the volume going to increase there? How much should I invest there? Do they give an undertaking that, okay, I will buy 10,000 pieces from you annually? These are all things which will take some time. And today, Dr. Goenka, when he was saying, there is need for a consolidation in certain components and all. Otherwise, we will not reach the economics of scale. We will have the challenge of always struggling to make great people or great component. Today, there are big players in components. But for EV, if you look, you can hardly count one or two who are doing something great. So this is the thing. In the coming days, we will see much more emergence happening in that.
Interesting. One last question, Reji sir. What would you encourage the supply chain, the value chain from top to bottom to do, and what would you encourage them not to do?
See, it's the answer can look very easy, but I know it's a very challenging thing. I can always say that please don't outrightly try to copy or try to get things from outside and assemble and give. Any changes or any improvements to be done, you are lost. And this is where people are looking for differentiation. People are looking for improvement at a faster pace. Once he establishes a supply chain OEM, he would like the person to respond at a much faster rate. So building from a little more core, getting it to start with, you can do that. But at certain period of time, there has to be a threshold time when they say that, okay, this much volume, I will shift to making. So certain companies have adopted that now. There are people now who are providing solutions which are cheaper than imports. Okay, so they are doing that, and it is being now getting proven. And that is where our ecosystem or the component industry needs to work upon. So they have to really work with the OEM and know that, okay, this is a critical thing for him, and there is going to be value addition. If I can provide, they should propose that to them and then work together on it.
Perfect. Thank you, Reji
Thank
sir.
you.
That was Reji Mathai, ARAI, and the message is loud and clear. Do not assemble, because options which have been made in India and supplied to the OEMs already exist. This is Mukul Yudhvir Singh signing off for ETAuto.